Welcome back. This is Heather Hope with Create Your Dream Life in 7 Days. How are you doing, guys? Welcome back and congratulations for getting through these 7 days. My name's Heather Hope, and if you're new here, if you found this on my YouTube channel, awesome. If you're in my free course, perfect. If you're not in my free course, go down into the description box and click on the link and you'll get the 7 days of worksheets and emails and videos. And it's about creating your dream life in 7 days. Okay, so let's jump in. I am a life coach and mindset coach for spiritual entrepreneurs. So we do everything. We cover your entire life, which is perfect because then you don't need a coach for every area, right? You just have one. So let's jump into day 7, guys, because this is going to be short and sweet. I'm going to give you some time here. Not much time today. So day 7. So day 6, let's go back to 6. You put together your dream life story. So now you have a new story. And what that means is that you repeat it all the time. You think about it, you daydream about it, you imagine it, you create a bunch of imaginal acts about it. And, you tell the people that can handle it. Hopefully you have someone in your life that you can talk to about these manifestation things that we do. If not, you can join one of our groups. We have a free Facebook group called Entrepreneurs Manifesting It All. And we have a brand new membership that just opened a few days ago. We're doing this March. This is releasing March 4th, 2022. So if you're listening to this way off in the future, we have a membership and you should join us. The first 100 people will get the lowest price at $11.11 a month. And so that's where you can get the coaching and support, and you can meet other people and find some people to talk to and support. So let's get into today. So today, day 7 is day of Sabbath. I said this to my husband last night and he goes, Black Sabbath? I'm like, no. I love Black Sabbath, but that's not it. So it's a day of rest. So since you have created basically you've chosen it, right? It's already been created. If you can think it, you can have it. It's already a reality. It's already being lived by you in another reality. Okay. So today you just rest assured. That's it. That's it. So it's done. You have chosen it. And like I recommend, keep choosing exactly what you want. Like just choose it. So earlier today, I'll tell you a little example so my husband's working all day, and usually it's a day that he goes and plays pool in the pool tournament because he's a pool player. And so we have it's Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday. We have this, we always have these plans every Tuesday, like clockwork. And I enjoy that because we don't have a whole lot of plans. So that's fun. So he's working. And so all day I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I needed to do this. That's fine. But for the rest of the day, I'm like, what do I do? Do I go to Taco Tuesday? Which is fine. I've done it. I don't care going by myself. But when you have a choice, you're like, I don't know. I could go into town, like out of town, to go shopping. I could go do nothing. I could go do Taco Tuesday as usual. I could do all kinds of things because now I have the option to just do something else. And I cannot tell you how annoyed I was. I was getting kind of annoyed that I didn't know what to do. And that's called split energy, right? And I kept telling myself, Heather, make a decision. Make a decision and line up with it, right? Abraham Hicks. Make a decision and see how that feels. So I finally did. And guess what? I feel good. So I kept thinking of the things that kept popping in my head of like a couple people to contact, a couple of my friends to see what they're doing. And I finally decided on what to do. I contacted one, sure enough, exactly where I thought this person was going to be. And that's where I was going to go. And yeah, so it's like a little happy hour thing. And sounds good to me. So as soon as I decided, everything just fell into place. And that's what this is all about. As soon as you decide the different areas of your life, and you can decide different things. Like I say, it's choose your own adventure. If you don't know what that means, my husband didn't know. I'm a Gen Xer. I don't know. And I think these are the books that we had when I was growing up, called Choose Your Own Adventure. I don't know if they still print them. I tried looking them up in the past and I didn't really find a whole lot. So I don't even know. I don't know if it's still a thing. But in the Choose Your Own Adventure books, you will read like a chapter or so, I don't know, a couple chapters, and the story will go a certain way. And then it'll come to the end of the chapter and you get to decide. It'll give you like two options on where you want the story to go next. And that is exactly how I see our life here, is that you get to decide where you want to go next. Yeah, you always get to decide. So like if something comes up that feels negative to you, you can decide in that moment, well, do I want to continue down this road of, well, this isn't what I wanted, but it's popping up? Or do you persist in what you want and keep going on that, on that path? You get to decide. So when they say persist, that means don't take the things that look negative, because I guarantee you they're probably not negative. They're just, possibly a bridge of incidents that is leading you to exactly what you want. Bashar talks about, labeling everything as good. When you label something as negative, it becomes negative in your life. Powerful. This is powerful stuff, guys. So you get to decide what it is that you want. Okay. So right now you have your dream life figured out. You can change it anytime. Don't worry. But now you can just rehearse that all the time. That's what you focus on throughout the day. You live from the end like you're in that life already. In your mind. You do it in your mind. You kind of fade the 3D reality a bit. Kind of fade it out. And your awareness is in like your mind, in your head of your dream life. You're really thinking from that. Like right now. So for me, I do this quite often so I have 4 houses in my dream life. And I'm going to spend time in 3 of them. I'm going to spend most of my time in, throughout like a few days, like 5 days, 7 days at a time at each house. And so, like in Vegas, my husband's moving to Vegas soon and we're getting a condo in Vegas for him to live in. And I'm getting a house down in the Phoenix area, in addition to the house that we have here outside of Phoenix. So I'm the one who's going to be traveling because I want that lifestyle. I don't want to sit in the same house 24 hours a day. Like, it's not me anymore. So I want to travel a little bit and I want to spend more quality time with my husband. So instead of 24/7 with him, I know, and this is something that I came about a few months ago, when I decided that, I really like living alone, but I really love my husband. He's a great guy. He's like the best guy, right? I'm not leaving him. I'm not breaking up this relationship because I want to live alone. I was just like, no. And we talked about it bunch of months ago, and his favorite city is Vegas. He wants to pursue professional pool playing because we know that he can achieve anything he wants. He listens to what I say, about manifestation, and he sees things all the time. He's really honing his craft because of this. And so he's going to go to Vegas and play professional pool. That's, his dream. At this point, it's his dream. So, and I'm in full support of this because I'm like, that's so cool. You go do what you want to do, right? Don't be stuck here doing something you don't want to do. So I'm super excited about this because then when I go visit him, we're going to be in kind of a fun city and lots of things to do. And then I can have this quality time of like a week with him. And then I can go back to my house for a week. And then I can go, to this house that we have here, and I can just travel around and we can go visit California and all this stuff. So, and there's another piece that I have not disclosed, at all because I won't disclose it until it manifests. I have one secret that I'm manifesting. Well, I have a couple, but one in particular I don't mention to anybody. Well, my personal friends know about it, but publicly I don't talk about it because I'm going to manifest it, and then I'm going to go public with it, which is totally fine. Because I know I can have anything, so I'm manifesting something that not everybody thinks is possible. So I'm doing that, and it's working pretty well. Anyway, so I'm excited about our new life of having multiple homes, me being able to travel more and spend quality time with my husband. So anyway, so right now, all you have to do is, so my point of telling you all this, that was a lot of information, personal information. But my point is that some days I will wake up and I'll be like, oh, I'm here in this house. That means this, this, and this. Or sometimes I'll visualize, because I know the condo that we want to buy, and I've studied those pictures a lot. And I'll picture myself waking up in Vegas. So if I'm with, my husband, waking up with him, then I know that I'm waking up in Vegas. So I have thought about, what that would feel like, what that would look like, that sort of thing. And if he's not here, which doesn't ever happen, then I would think that I'm down in Phoenix. So those sort of things. Like last night, I think it was last night, I went to go get gas and I was thinking, oh, I'm back in town. That's what it felt like. It felt like, I had just left town for a week or two and then I'm back in town. That feeling of like, yeah, I'm back. Like literally no one knows or cares, right? But in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm back in town. I've been gone for a little while, whatever. So that's how I was feeling last night, driving around town. And literally no one cares. but in my mind, it felt really cool because I'm like, yeah, it's like a fresh thing of like, yeah, I've been out of town for a week. I'm back and things feel fresher. And that's what I'm looking for, is like freshness in my life of different things, like a variety. So I will play these little things in my mind of where am I today? And I've done this for quite some time with cars. Like if I drive down to go grocery shopping, which is, the main shopping, which is outside of town, which is about 40 miles away, I'll think about which car am I driving? Am I driving the Tesla because it's great on, no gas, great on electricity? Or am I driving the Bentley? Am I driving the Cayenne? Whatever, what am I driving? And then I'll picture that. So I play these little kind of games with myself of what am I doing right now? What house am I in? What house am I waking up in? What car am I driving right now? What would I be driving right now? Would I drive? No, the Bentleys are probably, the Bentley's going to be down in Phoenix. The other one's in California. So here I would probably just have the Tesla with me, cause it's so good to drive. Anyway, so you can play those little games with yourself, with your dream life of what would I be doing right now? What would I be driving? Where would I be living right now? What would my view be like? So I have a couple of videos on my channel about how I manifested a ocean view house. And one is a longer one. I think one's shorter. But in essence, how I manifested that house in 7 days. Now, I had thought I was manifesting it for months because I kept saying, oh, we're moving to California. I kept telling everybody. I kept looking at places. I kept online. And, it was kind of not going anywhere, not in, what I could see. But it wasn't until, because I was going to Abraham workshops, every single Abraham. Like my goal was to do every single one of them in 2020, but we know what happened then. I had them all planned in California. So I started in Phoenix in December of 2019. And then we went to San Diego, LA, and Long Beach in January. So I was in LA every weekend. So I live about 6 to 7 hours away from LA. So every weekend, for 3 weekends in a row, I was in LA for, I think a total like 3 to 4 nights each. So I'd drive back, have about 3 days left here in Arizona, and then I would drive back. I freaking loved it. Of course, I love staying in hotels and I love, going to Abraham workshops. But so I was so there was one day I was back in my town and I was at the grocery store and I was thinking, gosh, I ran into someone and I'm like, and I realized that I had lived half of January in LA or in California. After a few months of saying, we're moving to California. And so I ended up living about 15 days, about half the month in California that month. I was like, wow, I'm really getting close to this, right? So that was pretty cool. So then a week break, there was a week break. The last week of February or January, there was no workshop. And then the next one was going to be San Francisco. Well, I had my ticket bought. No, I didn't. Sorry. I didn't have my ticket. No, I did, because I did go to that one. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get to San Francisco, because it's about 12 or more hours from where I live. And I'm like, I'm not driving that far. It sucks. So I kept looking at airfare. I was going to go first class because I hadn't done that before and I thought that would be cool. But I kept waiting because I couldn't make a decision. Like, nothing felt like it was the right thing. And I'm really big on, how do I feel about this? Is it a hell yes or is it a hell no, right? If it's just not a hell yes, then it's like, wait. I kept waiting. So a week before San Francisco, I'm like, it's way too late to get airline tickets. Way too late to do this. Okay, this was supposed to be a short episode, guys, but I wanted to talk to you about this. So I'm sitting there on the couch. I remember this. I'm in Arizona and I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. So what I had been doing, because we're still manifesting moving to Pismo Beach, which is on the central coast of California. So I just did the whole Southern California route of workshops. And now, Esther goes north. So she goes to San Francisco, she goes to Sacramento, and she does San Rafael, all in the northern portion. And I had never driven up there. I had never flown up there before. I have driven up there, but I did the whole coast of California the year before, as a kind of vacation. And so I sat here and I'm like, I think it's too late to fly and I don't really feel like driving. So how the heck am I going to do this? So like I said, had been manifesting moving to Pismo Beach during this time. Like, I'm just day to day. That's how I kind of live my life. Sometimes when I'm manifesting something like moving, it's kind of like, well, we're going to find out pretty soon. It's just going to happen. Things just happen, all of a sudden. So what I had started doing at that time, like right at that weekend, I started really honing in on meditating, visualizing, and writing about living in Pismo Beach. I don't know where I got this from. And you can find my books. I have a bunch of books on Amazon, but one of them is manifesting. It's sitting right here. I don't know. It's something about manifesting your success or something in 30 days. So it's like, it's 3 months worth of daily. It's all the same sheets. You don't have to buy it. You can just use a notebook, but I like having a dedicated book. So I started doing this I just started doing this in the morning. I would meditate. And then when I came out of the meditation, I would visualize my day living in Pismo Beach. And it would start off with visualizing, lifting my head and looking out to the ocean, because it was really important for me to have a view of the ocean. And then I would go through the whole day of like my dream life type of thing. And then when I stopped doing that, I would write it all down. So I started doing that every day, right at that moment of trying to figure out how am I getting to San Francisco? So the first step was to buy the ticket. So I bought the workshop ticket. So I'm like, okay, we're good to go. And I had like the hotels reserved. I had everything reserved at that point for my trip, because it was a lot of fun to reserve things. So I just didn't know how I was getting there yet. Nothing felt exciting. So I think it was the first day of doing that, the meditation, visualization, and writing the story. And so I remember sitting there on the couch, like, the answer is going to come. Like, I don't like saying I don't know, because if you don't know, you're just going to still not know, right? So I always say, well, the answer's coming. The answer is coming. The answer is coming. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's just coming. So I sat there and I thought, so LA was really easy to drive. Like, I'm a California driver. Like, I'm born and raised, lived 40 years in Phoenix. Phoenix drivers are the worst drivers I've ever encountered. I used to be one of them, but I'm not anymore. But because I live in a little tiny town that you can't drive like a maniac. So I stopped doing that. But Phoenicians are maniacs, I'll tell you. like true Phoenicians. We're not talking California drivers in Phoenix, because they're not the same. Phoenicians are maniacs on the road. If you don't like bad drivers, do not ever drive in Phoenix. It's the worst. So I've driven for years in LA, throughout the entire state of California. I've never had issues. Never. It's never an issue there for me. That's my experience. So have the same experience as me, because it's pretty much a joy to to drive in LA. I just love California. It's beautiful there. That's why I love it. So I sat there thinking, okay, well, LA is easy to drive. Okay, we got that. We've done that 3 weeks in a row. Easy. So I just kind of thought these thoughts of like, well, LA is easy to drive. So do I want to just go to LA and stay the night and then drive the rest of the way, which should be halfway, right? And then I had this thought, well, Heather, why don't you drive another 2 hours and drive to Pismo and spend the night in Pismo? That's literally where you're moving to any minute now. You just don't know when. Why don't you stay the night in Pismo? And then I got excited. I literally got excited. And what does that mean in manifestation world? You follow that. When you feel excited about something, you follow it, because it's an indicator. So I thought, oh, wow. And then I started thinking, well, is my husband going to be upset that I get to go to Pismo? And I'm like, whatever. He's totally cool. He's always cool about everything. He knows that if I get excited about something and I have to go, like, he has been through this so many times with me of like, I got to go. I got to go to California, or I got to go do this. And he's totally like, okay, because he knows I'm manifesting something, especially California. Every time I have an impulse to go to California, it's a big deal. Something's manifesting. It's crazy. So, now talking about it, I'll probably manifest a trip to California any minute now. But, well, actually we were supposed to go in a couple of weeks for my birthday, so maybe we will. But, so I started thinking, yeah. Oh my God, I can go to Pismo. So I started thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah. So I started planning it. And sure enough, so in the morning, I continued with the meditation, visualization, and writing every morning until my trip. So I left a couple days earlier than the workshop. So I drove to Pismo. Okay. So, and I'm staying in this oceanfront motel. It's a motel, not a hotel. And so, okay, great. I get there. It's getting dark. And I sat there, I had my computer, and I sat there and I had this thought, you know what? I'm here. Like, I'm going to leave the very next morning, right? At like noon. But I'm here for a very short time. But I thought, hey, I'm here. Let me see who I've been talking to. Let me look through my text messages and see who I've been talking to for the past few months for a place to rent. It was just a thought. I hadn't thought about it, but I know that on my way up to Pismo, I was so excited. So my favorite drive is between Santa Barbara and Pismo, or more specifically, what's that one? Sorry for the story, but it's really cool how this all, played out. What's that city? Ventura. Between Ventura and Pismo, it's gorgeous. It's my favorite drive of the entire coast. It's just my favorite drive. So during that time, I'm just rocking out to music, and I'm just affirming and just appreciating California. I freaking love California. I'm totally going to manifest a trip to California now. But I just remember this because I was by myself, and I'm like truly myself when I'm by myself in the car. I'm just like so appreciative. The mountains are gorgeous. It's all green. You get the ocean. You got all this stuff. And so this whole time I see this U-Haul, and we're just like weaving in and out of traffic. We're not speeding. We're just going regular, speed, because California is really not that crazy. So this U-Haul and I are going 90 miles between Santa Barbara and Pismo. That's 90 miles. We are going that entire route, just kind of like I pass him, he passes me, that sort of thing, cat and mouse type of thing. And I'm picturing myself like, oh, this could be how we do it. This U-Haul, I'm following a U-Haul to Pismo, and I took that as a sign. So it's an Arizona plate, which a lot of U-Hauls out here are Arizona plates, but still. So I see the license plate is Did it mean anything? I think it had like 777 on it. It was like, there was something about the license plate. I think it had triple numbers. And I'm like, cool. So, and it was AG and AG 777 or something. Arizona plate, U-Haul. And so we're driving and we're almost to Pismo. So right before Pismo Beach is Arroyo Grande, AG. And I told myself, if this U-Haul gets off at a Pismo Beach exit, there's 5 of them. That's it. It's a done deal. It's like such a done deal. And so let me tell you, this U-Haul immediately got off the freeway at the last Arroyo Grande AG exit. And I was just like dying because I'm like, oh my God, that's close enough. Because the very next one was my exit. I'm like, oh my God, it's done. This is a done deal. This is before I really understood like law of assumption. So I'm just like, oh my God. So I get in and I'm just like almost in tears because driving through downtown Pismo, and I'm like, oh my God, this is totally happening. And I've just been so jazzed for the last 2 hours of my trip. And so anyway, so that was my trip to Pismo. And so that night sitting there, so I text 3 people. So I get this idea, who do I have in my phone that I've been talking to? Random idea. So I texted 3 people. 2 of them got right back to me and said, no, sorry, don't have it anymore. Good luck, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I put it away, went to bed. Next morning, I wake up to the ocean because when I got there, it was getting sunset and then it got dark. So in the morning I wake up, I look out the window and there's the ocean. And I'm like, holy crap, that's in my visualization right there, is waking up to the ocean in Pismo. I'm like, holy crap. So I do it again that morning. I do my notebook, my writing, my visualization, I'm just enjoying the crap out of this. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to my favorite donut shop ever. I'm going to go walk over there. Or no, I'm going to take the car. So I go over there and I'm enjoying this coffee. I'm enjoying this donut and I'm writing in my notebook. I love living here in Pismo Beach. I love my new home, Pismo. I'm telling you, this is what I was writing in that moment. And I get a text message from the 3rd person that I had messaged. And he said, you know what? I don't have that unit available, but I have another one. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm still in town for another hour. And he's like, okay, meet me here. So I'm like, oh crap. And so I go there and I go to this house, this beach house. It's 3 houses from the ocean. I go up the stairs because it's the top floor. And I go and I check this out. Every room has a view of the ocean and the pier. And I go back into the master bedroom and I'm just like, holy crap. This is what I've been visualizing. I visualized waking up to this ocean view and I'm just standing there in awe. And I'm talking to this married couple who owns the house. They live next door. They own all the houses on that street. And so I'm just like, oh my God. And they think I'm crazy. But, and so that ended up being the house we moved to. So my rules for this was it had to be easy and it had to be easy for us to move there. Meaning credit checks or down, deposits, applications, that sort of thing. I was cool with just paying the entire lease at one time and just, and having a low deposit, hopefully, and that sort of thing. And it was exactly that. Low deposit, barely ever, barely a credit check. And I got to pay the whole thing. And so it just worked out perfectly. But I was just in awe of here it was. So, okay, I get in the car and I'm like, awesome, this is great. Let's see what happens. And I drive to San Francisco, which is only 4.5 hours from there, which was such an easy drive. And so I drive to San Francisco, go to the thing, and then I come back the next night, stay at the same hotel, same room, same view again, waking up to the ocean again. And I check out that place again, and then I go home. And I'm telling you, I had to cancel my next trip. I canceled Sacramento because we were moving. We got our house. And so I did that within 7 days of really focusing on what it was. So what it was in Neville Goddard's world was creating an imaginal act, right? An imaginal scene. And the most important aspect of this entire imagination that I had, this imaginal, this whole visualization, was waking up to the ocean view. That was the biggest point of my visualization. That was the most important part for me. So we move. It's 2 weeks later. We move February 13th, 2020. I canceled the Sacramento. I canceled San Rafael as well the week before because we were like packing. We had got the news at that point that we were moving. We were moving permanently at that point to California. We're like, oh hell, we gotta pack. we gotta get everything done. And so I had to cancel that one. And so then I canceled Sacramento as well because we were moving that weekend. So February 13th, 2020, we moved into our Ocean View home, and just in time for Valentine's weekend and all that good stuff. So it was that imaginal scene that I manifested. And of course, all of the stuff beforehand, but so this is how it works. Like, you just keep visualizing that scene, living it from that scene, however you can do it. It's not like I was affirming anything. I wasn't really into affirmations at the time. I was really into like appreciation, visualization, meditation, writing things out, scripting. But it was that scene. And of course, all of the, beforehand of like, we're moving to California. I'm so excited. All the trips of being in California, that was all very helpful. But it really wasn't until I started getting that imaginal scene, which I didn't even know I was doing. And I manifested that house in 7 days. And it was just so funny because I didn't plan on going to Pismo at all until we moved. But since I had to go to San Francisco, I was just following my impulses, following the ideas that came to my mind and feeling those ideas out. So if it felt exciting or interesting at the very least, I was like, okay, let's follow this through. So that's how I manifest things. I just follow the feelings. If it feels good, I'm like, okay, let's go. If it doesn't, if it's like, then I say, no, that's not the path. So this is living from the end, like creating that end scene of, okay, well, I'm waking up to my ocean view. Okay, so let me tell you the best part on top of all of that is that the first morning that I woke up, so February 14th, 2020, I wake up, and because the bed was so tall and the pillows were perfectly situated, in my imaginal scene, it was I lifted my head to look out to the ocean. But in real life, it was better. It was all I had to do was open my eyes because the bed was tall, the pillows were perfect, and I just got to see the ocean. I had to put my glasses on, but I had to see the ocean. I just had to open my eyes, and there was the ocean. And I was just like, holy crap, this worked. And I had no idea that was going to manifest. That was just my dream. That was my dream, to wake up to the ocean view like that. But I'm telling you, create the, imaginal scenes, do all that work, whatever it is, however you can do it. But do something. And, there was times, because I always said also that I would wake up to the ocean waves. There was one night, I would sleep with ocean waves a few nights of that week in my ears, like from YouTube or something. But there was one night that I started with, calming music, a track. And, during, with my scripting of that I wake up to the ocean waves, right? And the view. There was one morning that I woke up and I was listening to ocean waves, and I didn't start with ocean waves when I went to sleep. And I was just like, oh my God, it manifested. I woke up to ocean waves. It was really cool. So you are so powerful that you can create all of this. You can create whatever it is, and you can create it in a very quick amount of time. Neville Goddard says within 3 days. In my life, I'm like, I could do anything in 7 days. So we're getting down to 3 days, hopefully. So anyway, rest assured that once you decide what it is you want, I decided what I wanted and I got it. I got all of it. I got, Well, in my mind, it was like this, 5,000 square foot home on the bluff. And well, that wasn't the case, but this was just as good to get there, right? So it was really good. So rest assured, you have decided what you wanted. Now create these scenes, release resistance as much as you can every day. Meditate, listen to calming music, listen to calming affirmation ones. I've been listening to an I am grateful, all kinds of things that I'm grateful for. That's what the track is about. And I will repeat the affirmations throughout the day. It just is so calming. But the biggest thing that I've learned now is to release as much resistance just in general. Get yourself into a calm place. And once you get calm, then you're talking about non-resistant thoughts, and they manifest like crazy. So affirm the things that you're manifesting, get into a calm place, meditate, do all the things that you like to do, scripting, visualization, whatever works for you. Do those every day. Focus on your dream life, but also join our membership. Like I said, join our membership. You can get in anytime, and we'll do weekly group coaching, weekly live stream coaching. You're going to be in a group with like-minded people. You can ask me as many questions as you can. You can, we'll help you. I'll help you with your limiting beliefs, help you with visualization, help you with whatever you need help with in all areas of your life. And so yeah, join us. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. I did not expect this to be so long, but that's the way it is. So I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.